Good morning, guys. I'm just sitting here in front of the laptop working because obviously I still got a day job. I'm working 4.7 in sales, distribution and media, and I also do some distribution for Futurefly, so I got a lot of work to do for this. So when I'm on these trips, it's not like it's just holiday and I can go windsurfing all day. I still got to work plenty of hours. But the good thing is I can choose my own hours, so I'm kind of getting more nervous as I see the trees moving behind me and the wind slowly picking up, but I kind of want to get everything done before I head to the beach because we're launching this new service on Point 7 where we'll do like live video calls, so you guys can just go on the Point 7 website and book a live video call with me or Andrea or whoever you want. And I think this is a pretty cool service, but enough promotion. I think it's about time to go. I don't want to go too early because the wind is supposed to pick up later in the evening even more, and I want to get the best wind to test the 97. But yeah, I think I'm getting too nervous to work anymore, so I gotta head to the beach and check out the conditions. So yeah, let's pack up and do this. All right, it's not looking that windy now. We have about 20 knots according to the station, but I always like coming up here to the checkpoint to check the conditions. And the wind is supposed to increase all throughout the afternoon. So if we have now 20 knots, we will probably have 30 and more knots later. And it's very empty. For now, I only see 2 wing foilers. Maybe there will be some kiters, but I think during a weekday like today, it will not be as crowded, which is good to do speed runs. And the thing is, I need a lot of wind because as you can see here, I have to go quite far downwind here. And on such a broad course, you need a really, really strong wind that you have enough power in your sail, because the further downwind you go, the more power you kind of lose. So I'm hoping it picks up and I can ride 6.0 because I really like the combination of 97 with 6.0. 7.0 is also okay, but like 6.0, I just like that much better. All right, it's definitely windier than last time I was here 3 days ago. And the angle looks pretty good. So yeah, it should be good for 97. It's kind of sad that there's only like kite surfers and wing foilers and no windsurfers here. I mean, look at the spot. Why there's no windsurfers? Why no one goes windsurfing anymore? I actually didn't check beforehand if the fins fit in the board. I hope they do. And by the way, tell me how the audio is, because I'm using a new microphone and now in 20 knots. I hope it's good for you guys. I think it's gonna get crowded today. Now there's 2 kiters, 4 wing foilers, and actually a windsurfer, which is nice. And the wind is really starting to crank now. I think like 25 knots. And yeah, let's rig up the 6.0. That should be good. Okay, I couldn't stop surfing today. That was such a fantastic session. In the beginning it was kind of gusty, but immediately this board just jibes so well and has so much control in the speed run, and that's what makes it really fast. I think I sailed 39 knots on the first go, which is pretty good. I mean, here when you sail down the spot it gets really broad and gusty, so it's kind of getting difficult to keep the speed run and not fly away. But yeah, now the wind turned up to like 40 knots. It's incredible. And tomorrow is supposed to be even more. My hand is already a little bit opened. But yeah, for the first test, pretty good. I will rig down now and then we get to the apartment and then I will explain you how the board worked because I'm just amazed for the first test. Good morning to day 4 in Porto Polo. And today is the strongest day. We have already like 32 to 34 knots of base wind now in the measurement station. And it's supposed to pick up a little bit. So I prepared the 5-6 speed sail. And yeah, I really want to push the 40 knots with the 97 today. I think it's possible quite easily. But the spot is not super easy because you have this super broad course. So you need a lot of power. And the further you go down along this beach, the more power you lose because the wind is getting kind of more gusty because it's coming over the dunes and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to drive down now. Actually, I'm going to change into the wetsuit first. I already suffered a bit yesterday. Like, my hand is already open, my feet look the same, and that's because I didn't go surfing in like 2-3 months really. And always when I don't go surfing in a long time, my skin kind of becomes soft again, so it breaks more easily. But yeah, let's head down, I'm excited. Alright, so now that I got the chance to test the board for 2 days and 2 proper days with good conditions, here's my first feedback of the new 97 Dark Horse. Alright, so let's divide it into 3 categories. First control, then jibing, and lastly the speed. The control, as expected, was amazing. And I think this is largely because of the bottom shape of the board, that you have this V going all the way to the back of the board, and obviously this gives a lot of control. The conditions were really broad, as you could see, so that meant I had to go very far downwind, and as I was going along the beach, there was kind of this rolling chop building, because if it gets super broad, the waves kind of build up over the course. And you could see that as I was hitting top speed, the waves kind of rolled down the beach, and I had to go over them. And in this situation, I felt really, really confident because the board was kind of not flying away or like making weird turns or anything like this. The V just kept it very controllable and I didn't feel scared to like lose control at any moment. So this is one of the big positives of this bottom shape of the board, I think. next, let's talk about jibing. As I've said before in the unboxing, the board is 7 centimeters longer than the old version was. And I think this also translates very well to jibing, because the board just keeps a lot of power throughout the turn, and when you come out of the jibe and want to accelerate again, I think this longer board just makes it easier to jibe. And also I feel, I showed you this kind of tucked in rails and the deck concave, which makes for a very big rail, I think. I have to say I'm not super technical and I cannot explain this 100% correct, but I just felt that going through the turn, it was really, really smooth, and it was just easy to turn the board. And some boards are like fast, but then in the jibes they're kind of difficult. With this one I didn't feel it. But talking about speed, for me obviously the most important point for any board, because I always go with the watch and I always want to get a good speed. And here, first of all, I have to say I did a little mistake, I think, because I think I mounted the foot straps in the wrong position, because usually what I do is I mount the back foot strap all the way to the back and the front foot strap all the way to the front. But as I was unboxing the board, I kind of felt that the back foot strap on the position all the way to the back was very far back. And so I took the front position. And I could feel this on the water, as I usually always choose the position that is like on the back of the board, that I wanted to go further back with my foot. And if you go more to the front, you lose a little bit of lift. And I like to ride really freely over the board. Also with the mast foot position, I'm a guy who likes to put it quite far to the back, actually. So this I will change for the next session for sure. But that being said, I think it were not super easy conditions for speed surfing, because as I was saying, it was so broad and you just lost power down the run. You could not go along the whole beach. And you kind of also lost like 10 knots of wind towards the back of the run. And doing on both days 39 knots, on the second one was the faster one, was 39.2. I think is a very, very good speed. My top speed on a 97 is around 41 knots, but that was in La Franquise, which is like the best place in Europe for speed surfing. And this for sure is a much, much worse place. So coming within 2 knots of that, I think is very, very promising. And I think we can break 40 knots here if I change the foot strap position and change some settings on the sails and get further into the tuning. And yeah, so all three sounds very, very positive, the three aspects about this board. The optics are amazing. I know this sounds like a sales pitch, but I'm truly just amazed about this board for now. And the first impression is just super positive. So I'm excited to also test the 117, which should happen in the next days. So stay tuned to the channel to not miss this test, because this is probably the board that I will be using the most throughout the season. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe down below to not miss anything, and I will see you in the next one.